You coming tonight?
It's Richard and Catherine's anniversary. Why wouldn't I be coming?
Next Thursday.
Come to this party with me.
No. Hello.
I invited him. That's okay, right?
Welcome to a dinner serving up snark
Let me go ahead and grab you some wine. Maggie's left us any.
and plates full
What'd you make? Shrimp scampi. Are you allergic?
of awkward.
Vic, no. She'll put anything in her mouth.
Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy, new next Thursday on ABC.
Hey guys, so I'm very sorry that I completely skipped the review of episode 10 and then am getting the review of episode 11 up so late along with the trailer discussion for episode 12, but I'm back to discuss all the episodes right now. So we're going to talk about 10 for just a minute, and then we'll talk about 11 in detail. I have a good chunk of notes. I really liked 11, and then we'll talk about the trailer, which, you know, from my several views of it, it's kind of a really boring trailer for an episode that I wonder what's going to happen. And the reason why I say it's boring is it's just showing one plot line, and it's a plot line with characters that I care about, but with a lot that I don't. But we'll talk about the trailer at that moment. So let's discuss episode 10, which was titled Help Me Through the Night, and we'll talk about this really, really quick because I want to get the right to the meat and bones of this video, which is episode 11. So I want to give a couple shout outs to Kim Raver and Chandra Wilson. They are absolutely phenomenal actresses. By the way, I'm just referring to my notes over here, so if you see me looking away from the camera, I'm just looking at the Word doc that I have all the notes with, because this is a very discussion-based video, and we have a lot to talk about because we have two episodes and a trailer. But Kim Raver and Chandra Wilson were phenomenal. They absolutely ran the episode. They were truly the standouts, and I loved it. Chandra Wilson's breakdown in the OR, was amazing, and then having James Pickens Jr., pick her up, metaphorically, and hug her physically was phenomenal. And then the end scene where it shows Dr. Weber, Dr. Bailey, and Meredith all together was absolutely phenomenal as well. That got to me. I really, really liked that. The episode very much tried to focus on the interns and make the audience feel bad and question whether or not the interns are going to die. I have to say, I don't care about the interns. I'm sorry. I don't care. It could have been any patient off the street, any new character they want to introduce just for this episode. I don't care. The interns are so meh to me, and I know they're trying to make the interns important. Don't get me wrong. I actually like Helm, and I like Parker. And I like how Bailey was so involved to keep Parker alive, or to keep Helm alive, and how Kim Raver's character was so involved with finding Parker. But I absolutely just didn't care that it was them. I don't have any connection to these characters. And I think the issue with that spans from the fact that the show is in its 16th season, and we're already attached to characters that are way past, 2 years in. I mean, the interns came in season 14, and Kim Raver, granted, she came in the show in season 6, then left at the end of season 8, but she was in 6, 7, 8, and then she was in 14, 15, and 16. So, Kim Raver is more important than the interns. So I was invested with Teddy and Bailey, but I truly didn't care about the result with the interns. If they had died, I would have been like, okay, they're dead. It wouldn't have hurt me. What would have hurt me is if Bailey died. Or if Ben died. Ben's a very important character. Another thing I really, really liked about the episode was the scene with Meredith and Teddy when they're talking to glasses. I really like Mare and Teddy scenes. I really think that Mare and Teddy need to have a closer bond. I have in my notes, I had it in bold because I think it's very important. I think that Teddy, Meredith, Maggie, and Amelia should all be friends. I think Meredith needs a new friend. She especially needs a new person because Amelia and Maggie are her sisters, and I think Teddy could be that person. And I really do think that Teddy needs something more to do than to be Owen's wife, girlfriend, fiance at this point. But I really think that Kim Raver can be utilized really well when she's interacting with Ellen Pompeo, because I just love their dynamic. I think they're two fantastic actresses. But I did feel that Kim Raver felt very useful here, and she's very useful in a hard pill to swallow. So now let's talk about a hard pill to swallow, and just to quickly backtrack for Help Me Through the Night, I thought it was a great episode. It was a really good season premiere, and I'm very happy with it, and I hope you guys liked it as well. But now let's talk about a hard pill to swallow, and I just kind of broke it up by the character pairings because this episode was perfect, minus Joe, Link, and Jackson. Everyone was really in a duo, which I appreciated. So the first thing I want to talk about is Maggie and Richard. I love Kelly McKerry, and I love Maggie. I think Kelly McKerry is a fantastic actress, and I think Maggie is a great character. People complain about Maggie, but I really, really like her. And I really liked her scenes with James Pickett Jr., I think they bounce off each other really well. I really just enjoy the two of them together, and I really like how he's helping her cope with the loss of her cousin. I mean, this is a big deal for Maggie, and I loved those scenes, and I especially liked how Richard talked about his mother. They were beautiful, beautiful scenes, and James Pickett Jr. is just a very great, charismatic actor. So I enjoyed it. Like it truly felt like a father comforting his daughter. Now, at the end of Richard's scenes, he goes to Catherine, and Catherine is like, "Where have you been?" And she doesn't believe him when he says that he was with Maggie all day. And I'm just like, God, this is not right. Like, Richard has been through the ringer. He's lost his niece. He lost Adele. He just learned about Maggie a couple of years ago, and now his life is more or less on track. And to have Catherine be questioning him cheating is ridiculous. Because Richard is not. I mean, he did cheat on Adele with Catherine, and he cheated on Adele with Alice Gray. So Richard does have a track record, but I think he's just built up to be such an honest, good guy. To have Catherine question him is disturbing, especially since Catherine also cheated and knew about Adele. She endorsed Richard's cheating on Adele because she wanted to be with him. So I don't think Catherine has the high ground here at all. But the scenes with Maggie and Richard, absolutely fantastic. What did you guys think about the scenes? I thought they were really, really well done. So then the next thing we're going to talk about is Meredith and Mick Widow. I like the team up, but I very much miss Alex. And had Alex not been fired and had Justin Chambers not left the show, this plotline I would have been totally vested in. I thought it was really cool, especially with them trying to figure out what was wrong with the kid. This is an issue I had though. Is his health epidemic came from vaping, and vaping it's a very current issue in the United States. I'm not sure how it's affecting other countries. But in the US, it is a really big deal. And I get why the show's bringing it in because it's showing a message. But I don't like when reality and TV cross like that. I kind of like when TV is still fictional on some level. Like, we know it's based in reality, but we don't need it to tell us how bad vaping is because we know how bad it is. Like, it's in the news. It's on the radio. It's on, the radio news stations. Like, it's everywhere. Like, vaping is not good. I don't advise it. So I don't like the medical dynamic that the two of them had, but I did like the dynamic between Ellen and the doctor who plays Mick Widow. I don't know his name. I don't know how much he's going to be on the show. Honestly, I could live with him being a minor character. I don't need him to be a main character, and I also don't need him to be Meredith's new love interest. And we'll talk about DeLuca in a minute because I very much am still on board with DeLuca. But overall, Meredith and Mick Widow, it's a good team. They have good chemistry. It was a good storyline. I just didn't care for the vaping, but overall, I did enjoy it. So now we're going to get to the trio. We have Joe, Jackson, and Link. They're dealing with the guy who swallowed a fish from a bar on his bachelor party. That guy, his fiance left him. I didn't really care about the guy at all. But I was very much invested in Joe because Joe feels like a bomb waiting to go off because we don't know Alex's fate on the show, which is insane. Like, we need to know what's going on with Alex. I very much dislike how they haven't told us what happened to him. And so I'm like, when is she going to find out? When is she going to find out? Jackson more or less felt like a sounding board. I think he definitely will, from the trailer, have a really big role in the next episode. Jesse Williams, I like the character Jackson, but I really liked him with April and when they were getting along. I think April is necessary, or him with Maggie is like more fun. Him being alone it's not, for me, it's not very interesting, and I don't think he bounces well with a lot of other actors. I don't think he's a bad actor per se, but I think like his best acting is when he's with Debbie Allen, when he's with James Pickett Jr., when he's with Kelly McCreary, or when he was with Sarah Drew, or even when he's with Ellen Pompeo. In this scene, he really felt like a sounding board to me. Then we have Link. Now, Link's entire dilemma in this, in his scenes with Jackson and Joe was because of what Amelia told him. Now, Katerina Scorso didn't have too much to do in this episode. She overall she told Link what was happening, which I'm glad that she didn't wait too long, and it kind of set Link off. It made him very heartbroken to know that the baby might not be his. So, I mean, Katerina, by the way, in episode 10, her with Kim Raver was phenomenal, especially when they were going to find Parker. I really did like her there. But she hasn't done too much in 10 or 11. I think that she needs, when they find out the father of the baby, that'll be a big deal, and she'll have a big role then. But in this episode, it was really, she told Link, and then at the end, Link said, I need to know who the father is. But I actually really like Chris Carmack's acting. I thought he was really well done. I thought it was really well done. And overall, I like the character of Link. Like, he grew on me. And when he came in episode 1 of season 15, he was like, I'm an Ortho god. I'm like, I don't like you. Like, go away. Get off the show. Like, bring back Sada Ramirez. Now, I like him. I think he's a cool character. I like him with Amelia. I don't care about the wrench. I don't care for, the wrench that's been thrown into his life with Amelia. But overall, I very much like the character of Link, and I do hope the baby is in fact his. So I did like the scenes of Joe, Jackson, and Link, and I do wonder who the baby's father is and when Joe will find out what the heck happened to Alex. Now, I want to talk about Teddy and Owen real quick. Ted and Owen scenes in this episode were absolutely fantastic, and it brought in some necessary humor because there was some heavy stuff in this episode and in last week's episode. I mean, last week's episode with just dealing with the crisis of losing the interns. Again, I didn't care so much about actually losing the interns per se, but the drama I did feel. And then we have Chandler Wilson's breakdown in episode 10. And then in this episode, we have what's going on with the kid that Meredith and Meg Widow are dealing with. We have Maggie and Richard. So there was definitely some intense medical drama, and Teddy and Owen was a sigh of relief. It was really, really fun and engaging, and I like how much Teddy feels like a mom towards Leo. I like Leo. He's so cute. So I really do ship Teddy and Owen quite a bit. And Kim Raver, again, in this episode, was very... So I'm a big Kim Raver fan. I think she's a really great actress, so I'm really happy she's getting more and more to do. And I'm glad that she feels relevant. And there's a solo episode that she's going to have at some point in the season, and I'm very excited for that. Now, we can also talk about Bailey and DeLuca. Bailey, she was really, really good this episode. She was great last episode, don't get me wrong. But this episode, she was calmer because she wasn't shocked over the miscarriage. And I really like what's going on with DeLuca and him wondering why his patient is so sick and why she keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So I really did. I like the dynamic between Giacomo and Chandra. It's interesting. And I also very much like how the patient's being ill is what brought him back to Meredith. And I think that Meredith and DeLuca have a very strong chance of getting back together. And DeLuca was just playing a frustrated character throughout most of the episode. That was his dynamic, and I think Giacomo did it very well. I very much felt his frustration. I hope that he's able to figure out what's wrong with the patient. And I like how Bailey was sort of a side character in the story, like a DeLuca was running it, but she was kind of like his sounding board. But I liked it. It was necessary. I think Chandra needed a little bit of a break from last week because last week was very intense. And overall, I very much enjoyed it. And then her scenes with Karasik were good. None of the interns were in this episode, by the way, which I thought was great. Like, I don't care for the interns. I've talked about this several times. I just don't think they're necessary. But I very much liked how Karasik was able to even calm Bailey down because he's kind of a jerk. And I like Tom Karasik a lot. I mean, I have my issues with him, don't get me wrong, but I very much like Tom Karasik. And I liked how he told Bailey what to do at the end of the episode by lighting a candle for the loss of her baby. So I did like that. I thought that was very good. So overall, A Hard Pill to Swallow was a very, very solid episode. Now, let's talk about the trailer for The Last Supper. And the trailer is almost exactly like the episode description. So I'm going to read the description and then we'll briefly talk about it because there's very little to break down, which is a little annoying. Sometimes the trailers will have stuff the description doesn't have, so we can talk about the description and the trailer. This is so similar, which I like when most of it matches, but I like when there's like one thing the trailer has and one thing the description has that are different. I think it makes it more fun for a discussion. But overall, but for right now, they're the exact same, which never happens. So let's talk about it. Let's see. Jackson creates an uncomfortable situation when he invites his new girlfriend, Vic, to what he thinks is Richard and Catherine's anniversary celebration, only to discover the dinner was called for different reasons. Elsewhere, Levi brings Nico on a trip to visit an ailing family member. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about that was in the trailer was Levi bringing Nico on a trip. I don't care for the interns. I don't care for the LGBT storyline with Levi and Nico at all. I don't think it's necessary. I loved the LGBT storyline with Callie in Arizona. I liked Arizona's LGBT storylines with DeLuca's sister, Karina, who I think is also fantastic, and she needs more scenes. She's actually, I believe his sister, Steffiana, I believe is the actress's name. She's coming back. I want more scenes of her. Bring back Arizona Robbins. I mean, I love LGBT scenes in the show. I think the representation is prevalent in Grey's Anatomy, but the acting of Alex Landy and the actor who plays Glasses, I don't think he's a bad actor, but I think he's better in comedy, and I just don't care. I don't care. Like this will be the B storyline, I'm positive, because the A storyline is my guess, the dinner, but the A storyline, again my guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, is filled with the best actor, some of the best actors the show has. Again, I think shipping Levi and Nico, they had that cute scene at the end of episode 10, and I was like, I don't care. I don't want it. I would have if the gay actor was or the gay character was Chris Carmack, and he was with another gay doctor that they brought in, or if say, and it wouldn't have happened, but like Owen just thought he was gay or Jackson thought he was gay, I would ship that because that's like a coming out crisis. But I think with the actors they have to play Levi and Nico, it's a challenge to get through those scenes for a lot of fans, and I don't care for them. But I'm very excited for the potential A storyline, and I'm pretty sure I'm right again, that we're going to have with the dinner. But the first thing I want to say is this show has to stop trying to be an advert for Station 19, because Station 19 is not fun. I don't think it's a good show at all. Private Practice was a fantastic spinoff, but I think that's because they had much better actors. I mean, Kate Walsh is amazing. Taye Diggs, he's not so much amazing, but he's very good. Amy Brennan, amazing. The actress whose name I'm briefly blanking on, who played Charlotte, Katie Strickland, amazing. They had so many great actresses and actors on Private Practice. That show didn't need to be advertised through Grey's Anatomy. Station 19 does, because it suffers with its acting and a little bit of its writing. I just don't think watching... We already have... Grey's is like the medical drama of the world, and I really think that the CSI... not CSI, there's a fire show that my mom watches on CBS. I think that's just more engaging, or NBC, I'm not sure which channel, I don't watch it. But overall, I just don't think Station 19 pops the way that Grey's Anatomy will pop, and I really wish that they stop trying to incorporate it all the time. And I know they can use Ben to bring it back, but again, I don't care. I don't care at all. So like, to have this drama be, with Vic, to me it's a little annoying. So the episode, in my opinion, will most likely be very heavy of Richard, Maggie, Jackson, and Catherine. Now, Richard's amazing. James Ficken Jr., amazing actor. Maggie, Kelly McKeary, fantastic actress. Jackson, this is his crowd. He's very good. Will Meredith be in this episode? I don't know. I really think that she should have a cameo scene with Maggie at the end to discuss what's going on. Now, Jackson makes the situation obviously uncomfortable because he invited Vic, and then Vic invites her firefighter friend to hit on Maggie, and I believe it was episode like 6 or 3 of season 15, which again, no reason to have that inclusion at all. Actually, it might have been later. I think when Maggie met the firefighter is more towards the end of the season. Either way, I don't remember it, but I just don't need more firefighters. Just the doctors, please. So Jackson, is someone going to make... He obviously makes it off because he brought Vic. Vic brings her friend, who is not necessary, and it's no longer like a family affair because Richard and Catherine are announcing that they might be separating. I can't imagine they would get divorced. I think them getting divorced would be absolutely stupid. I ship Catherine and Richard. I also ship Jaggy. I think Jaggy should get back together. So to have the episode be really... The trailer itself is very focused on the drama of what's going to happen with Jackson and Maggie, and along with Meredith and Richard, or Catherine and Richard, excuse me. So it will be good, but I think to have the trailer be focused on one storyline and not show the other one, and to have the episode description match the trailer perfectly, and then give a little sentence about a storyline where I think 90% of fans don't care about that, it's a little tough to promote this episode. So I'm not sure how good it will be in terms of plot, because it seems very low, because I think we don't have Kim Raver. We don't know what's going on with Kim Raver. We don't know what's going on with Ellen Pompeo. I highly doubt there's going to be another storyline along with these two. I think the story is going to be very focused on Richard, Maggie, Jackson, and Catherine. Again, I like when episodes are solo. I think they can be like we got in season 13 when we had just Joe, Arizona, and Bailey go to the prison. Oh, that was a really good episode. You know, they treated that girl who was pregnant. We don't know what she did. I assume she murdered someone because she was in a maximum security prison in Seattle. But those are great. Like, those solo episodes are really, really good. But this isn't like super solo because there's a B storyline, and I don't know what else to speculate about it. I just wonder, what will the fate of Catherine and Richard be? What do you think about it? So overall, I thought the trailer, I like it, don't get me wrong, but if it was, the description just had no inclination of Levi and Nico, I'd probably be even more excited, because like, ooh, the drama's going to happen. I'm like, ugh, the drama will be interrupted by some boring drama with Levi and Nico. So overall, I think episode 12 will probably be very fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, again, I don't really care for Levi and Nico's issues that'll come up. So I enjoyed the trailer, I enjoyed episode 11, and I enjoyed episode 10. Thank you so much for watching my discussion of all three of them. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll talk real soon about Grey's Anatomy. All right, guys. Talk soon. Bye.